Hello and
Hey.
welcome everybody to another episode of Brickstop Live. I'm your host Jason, and we have Jim in the house as Retro Space Coats as well. So how you doing, man?
All good, dude. Yeah, very well indeed. It's been a nice Monday, back into the swing of things. And whilst the going's good, why not think about the Wolfpack? Where do you start
Totally.
with this faction? Where do you start?
Wolfpack, man. I mean, it's a good one. We've just been kind of slowly covering some of the smaller, sub themes of castle and pirates and different things, even space now. And we'll just add to the repertoire as we keep going. But yeah, I wanted to do Wolfpack. I've actually got a nice little handful of mocks. It's got a lot of. It's one of the most favorite or loved factions of all time. So
Yeah.
I figured we can just talk about this one next, and then we'll keep it going. But did you look up some stats on Wolfpack when they kind of came out and what they were up to a little bit, or do you have that?
Yeah, so I've got Wolfpack 1992, as I remember, was the introduction of the tower. Well, actually, the first wave, which will be the tower, the Wolfpack Renegades, which is the cart, and the Ghostly Hideout. Ghostly Hideout retailing for about $5, the Renegades about $8, and the tower
Okay.
about $30 when they came out. But interestingly enough, the Ghostly Hideout, which is the one I have the least memory of from the time, and that will be because I've subsequently discovered it was a limited release for North America and Canada.
Okay.
So I don't think we got Ghostly Hideout in the UK. Now, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but if you look at the set numbers different than the rest of them, so I think that was the case.
Got it. Yes. Yeah, I see. We do have viewers. No one's dropping comments yet, but if you want to drop comments, let us know you're here. Let us know your thoughts. It'd be great to engage with those as well. But we're going to move into the first part of the show here. And I figured this time we're going to start with the newer stuff instead of ending off with that. So we have this Bricklink design program, Wolfpack Tower, I guess. I don't know what it was actually called. I don't think they were allowed to use the official Wolfpack name. Was it like a Bandit Tower or something? Probably should have written that down before I put the slide up. Anyway, and we have the Beastmaster Wolfpack minifig CMF here. So this is kind of the return of Wolfpack in 2025 here. So
pretty decent return, to be fair. Like, we've got some decent stickers going on this time. We've got a decent build that isn't just a grey castle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is I really like this build, actually.
Yeah, no, out of most of the Bricklink design program, and we could do a show about Bricklink design, Bricklink in general. There's some controversy around that. Always fun to talk about things that make people mad. So, but regardless of whether you like it or not, I mean, I think if this had been an official Lego release, everyone would pretty much be over the moon for this.
Yeah.
So I personally think it's a pretty fantastic representation of maybe a modern day Wolfpack set here. So
for sure.
I like a lot of it. I'd like most of it, and I would have purchased it if I had that kind of spare change floating around. But these are all pretty pricey sets coming off of the Bricklink design program. So there was a little bit of a sparser interior. People were giving it some criticism for that.
Okay.
But you look inside, maybe.
But I mean, if we're fair, that's always been the case with Lego castles. They're always pretty sparsely populated, and it's almost like the invitation is unsuggested for you to fill it up with whatever you see fit. So I know that people now expect to have everything straight away in a new Lego set, and for the money you should do. I agree, but has it ever been any different with Lego Castle? We've got to furnish them out a bit.
That's fair. No, I mean, that was a good point. I mean, we talked about that a couple episodes ago. How, like, if you look at I think I was talking about the pirate set.
Yes.
How it, not the Perilous Pitfall. What was the other one? The Rock Island Refuge.
The Rock Island Refuge, yeah.
How it's like kind of just an empty wall.
It's not many. The piece count is low, and it looks good with what they've done. That's one of those sets where they did a great job with the limited piece count rather than a really phenomenal environment build. Yeah,
for sure. Well, and like Yeah, I don't know, but let me pull in. I'd want to say, oh, by the way, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day here, so that's why my kids are downstairs and not in school. But happy Martin Luther King Day. Wanted to address that, and we got people finally dropping in here, so they're finally saying hi in the chat. So hi guys,
reporting in, Wolfpack reporting in.
We got Illinois Central Brick. Hello everyone, good to have you.
Howdy, dude.
We got Andrew Auburn making it this time. He's pretty excited. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. Glad to have him in here. We got K2 Films jumping in. Wolfpack.
Yeah, indeed.
Finally catching the stream from the start. Love the Lego talk, fellas. Thank you.
Got to talk about it.
And made with bricks. If Lego released it, it would be a bit better finished. It's a bit much rock work for me. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of rock work along the front. It's hard to say because Lego actually does technically finish these. They go through the Lego design team before they release these, but they are also unlike Lego Ideas. Well, they'll take this and they'll remake the whole thing and be like, "Thanks for the idea." We'll make our own.
Yeah, Barracuda Bay one was very different, wasn't it? In its
exactly. The Bricklink ones, I believe they do almost everything in their power to pretty much keep it exactly how the designer had it, and then only really fix structural things or maybe switch out minifigs if they're no longer producing them or whatever. So
yeah,
that's a fair critique. I mean, here's the thing, man. I would say that, except for that I've also seen some of the things Lego's released and they're actual garbage. So
it's not always a given that Lego will improve the thing. That is true lots of the time. But if you really closely look at this build, I wouldn't be so sure that Lego would improve it in the way that if you're thinking about its visual impact. Like Jason says, what they'll probably do is they'll go for stability and any anomalies with parts that you've included that they don't want to be part of the program to supply or that are out of the running. So you're probably right in some instances, but this is, I don't think, a great example for that. I thought they did a good job with this, and at the end of the day, what you'll hear from a lot of people who slap a lot of the critique of people who just slap a Wolfpack flag on a castle mock and say it's a Wolfpack hideout without knowing about the lore of the Wolfpack and what environment they would be in, and that they were actually predominantly water based. You've got homage to that here, and also it's stayed pretty true to the original color scheme, etc. So I think it's always a compromise, isn't it? What people want and what you get, and then hopefully the idea is that you get a bit of something nice you didn't expect, and that what you want isn't always what you need, and all that kind of. Anyway, I'm diverting, but you get my picture. I think this is a pretty decent build for and especially for a designer program. I got props to the builder, who always builds great builds. So
is this Brickhammer? I think it's Brickhammer, isn't it? The builder, the designer, I believe.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
We all.
What's happening, Lou?
Yeah.
This is comments from a friend of mine.
Okay, good. I figured I'd pull that up. He caught up on the last three. Says keep.
He's been watching. He's renovating a house. Listening to this. So he's, props. Okay. Bought two. I don't blame you. Amazing. Yeah. I just want the banner sticker. I love that banner sticker. It's cool.
Brickativity's jumping in from the frozen north.
Yeah, well, this is it.
All that to say, I think this is in my opinion, I like it. I think it, like you said, it's got the spirit of the Wolfpack pretty much all over this thing. It's got nice little callbacks and references to the little bridge, the causeway, the tower itself. It is missing a ghost, which is unfortunate.
It is. That's the only thing. That's the thing. Do you know what I like about this? I feel like this is an origin story set, and let me explain myself. I think they're about to steal that wagon from the Crusaders, and that's how they got the Renegades.
Yes.
Wagon.
Honestly, I agree, and that's the story that's being told here. That's what you get with a fan design, is perhaps even more nods to the lore than perhaps one of the actual Lego official.
Well, yeah, because we know more about it than they do at this point, apart from the really high guys who are still there.
Right. A couple of the old guys is still there to kind of lean into that. But like, so you get that. I think that's 100% the reason why it's the color scheme of that wagon, why it looks similar. I believe it even functions with a little like hiding area. So it's actually a huge shame that this is not an official Lego set that you can just purchase, and that it's already pretty much unavailable to everyone who would be interested in it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Andrew doesn't like this one, and that's totally fine. Yeah, it's not for everyone. I mean, what I have failed to understand is what people do like in the Bricklink design program. or why they
everybody's got something they've imagined that they want to never. I'm not buying until it's exactly what I want, because there's been some killer stuff, man.
There have been some good ones, you know, and then there's also been ones where I'm like, who is interested in this one, you know? So I don't know. We got a cabinet full of random little miniatures and a robot that looks like it was ripped off of a video game. So that's what's coming out next time.
Wow.
You know, so anything,
this is Lego being Lego.
I bet anything can win in the Bricklink design program. It's not necessarily what we would consider the best or our favorite designs, you know. So it is pretty busy. That's a good point. There is a lot going on. They could have maybe toned that down a little bit. You know, again, though, it just depends on your taste, I think, for a bit, because I've seen Lego sets that are just a mess. People think they're cool and whatever. And then I've seen Lego sets where they tone it down, they pull it back, they get rid of some of that busyness, and then it just looks kind of boring and there's not a whole lot to see. So
I just like that they incorporated wear and tear, and to do that, you've got to use a few more pieces. Well, you haven't got to. You could take the subtractive approach, but for detail, they've added the wood, they've added the rust. You've got this slight dilapidation going on that you would want from a faction like the Wolfpack. So I think they scored on that point. It should really be in the snow, like someone commented earlier about the North. Like, if we're going to go true Wolfpack, I don't even think Lego got it right. But as far as Lego told us, they were a water side faction. So yeah, but no, it's a great build. I like it. I don't think it's one of the best I've seen. There's this great designer called the Brickstop that is his builds are pretty decent.
Oh my goodness! You know what? Out of the castle ones, it's one of my favorites. And that's just because it's got interest, variety, color. It's got something going on. Yeah. I like it better than the Falcon Castle in the snow. That one's just boring.
Yes, I like this better than that. I do like this better than that.
You know, maybe the one that might be an exception is the Dracula Castle, where it actually did have some nice colors. But that's not a medieval set, so you know, it's its own thing.
Yeah, it could have been a Fright Nights thing, but they didn't take it in that direction, did they?
So it's hard with the parts available and the palette and stuff like that to do that. But yeah, you're right. Brigativity, good parts pack, even if you don't like the build. That's actually a good point. And then
always very good.
Films was talking about how you can slide the classic shield or the shield into the window of the classic wall panel, and it tucks behind the handle. He just wanted to share that information with everyone. It's actually really nice. It's a good way to hang shields off of walls and stuff too.
That's cool.
But yeah, Andrew says again, it's too busy for him as well. So that's a fair critique, and that's a critique we're getting some repeats of here. So. Otherwise, we have the Beastmaster, the Wolf minifig. I got a handful of these guys myself. I think one of the best CMFs that's ever been made, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got some still in the box. I'm just going to save them forever. They're so good.
Same. Yeah. Yeah, this one is great. I mean, you get a furry cape. You got the print. You got the printed legs and the printed torso. You got a shield, and you get a wolf. And this was the first time they introduced this wolf, and then they added it to this set here. Later, but like as far as like a collectible series fig for like $5, like you can't go wrong. You get 2 or 3 of these guys, you could probably kit out almost 5 or 6 using different pieces and swapping parts and stuff like that. So
yeah, for sure. It's a really good, like, sometimes I don't love some of the new face prints on stuff because we're all in love with the old faces. Let's face it, this community really into the vintage stuff. This one, I quite like this one. It's quite interesting. I love how it's like a weird 70s Neil Young with his low chops. It's got a dead like scraggly vibe about him. It's like, yeah, it's quite a nice face print. I was happy with this. I think you get a fair bang for your buck with this one. If you were getting him at $350 a pop when they came out here, whatever they were, like you're getting your shield, your sword, your full outfit, a fur cape, and a dog. That's pretty good for a CMF, and let alone a castle CMF, and let alone that being the wolf pack. I think it was worth the wait. I think there was definitely feels seen on this little minifigure, if nothing else, by Lego.
We got a lot of comments. A lot of comments going on. I agree with you on all of those points, Jim. Let's see. I did want to pull up this one. At least it doesn't have fully armored Wolfpack figs. Armored Forceman bugged me too. So Spacer Nate.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Sometimes you got to at least kind of lean into the original, garb and lore of these factions you're trying to represent. I think that's a fair point. What do we got? Illinois Central Brick says Wolfpack was my favorite as a kid, but I didn't have any of the figs, so I had to create my own by making torso stickers from an image cut from the Lego advertisement.
I love that.
Wow, still
and
have
you
it.
Still have it
right on.
The best part of that story is that you still got it. That's amazing, dude. And
that
you know what?
is.
Whatever gets you that Wolfpack vibe, whatever gets you that Wolfpack zone, as far as I'm concerned, it's legal. It's about the feeling. But it'd be great if you could get your hands on one. I hope that you're at a thing someday and you just see a Wolfpack for the right price and finally get one for your collection, because they're a great minifig to behold, the originals especially.
Brickativity, I'm with you. And Brickativity says my favorite faction got about 10 of up to 10 of the Beastmaster and order 15 of the Wolf guy from the village. That's a good point. I didn't include him, but there was another more standard looking Wolfpack torso that came with Medieval Marketplace. Or
he robs the pie, doesn't he?
Yeah, the Town Square guy. So once those dropped on Bricklink, I got a bag full of those too. So because Wolfpack's up there. Wolfpack, Dark Force and Wolfpack are like maybe my favorite castle factions. Black Knights, those are the top three for me.
Yeah.
So those guys I really do enjoy. All right, we've spent almost 20 minutes talking about this one, so we're gonna keep moving. This is the modern rendition of Wolfpack, but we got the real stuff right here. This is right. This is it right here. So
look at this.
So Wolfpack Tower, classic. Got the ghost. 3 figs, not bad for the size of this set.
So $30 again, just for context, when this was released.
Yep. Yeah, really nice. It is a classic, and I've even used this. What did you call it? Profile, or you used a word talking about the shape of the things.
Oh, composition.
Composition. Profile or composition. This is a classic composition of Lego castle, mostly castle sets. With the bridge, the towers, and such. They have that with the Royal Knights drawbridge, I think.
Yeah.
And I've used it myself, maybe in different ways. I know I did a bridge for the Musketeers line I was doing. That's a similar construct with the bridge coming out and stuff. So it's a nice composition, and it can be translated very nicely to different factions and things like that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they almost serve as useful castle extensions in some themes, and sometimes when they come up, it's almost like get the Royal Knights castle and the drawbridge and put them together or something. But this one's great. It's great as a standalone. If you get 2 of them, even better. But there's loads of the builds within this piece that I really like, such as the way that first archway with the 2 small archways above, and the recessing and then a resloping of that little profile. Just little moves they used to make just to use some of the parts and give some dynamic to the piece. And then again, on the subject of parks, you get your black burp. Do you get not a burp, black turret top crenellation? You get your burps. Is this somewhere near the beginning of burps, isn't it? This
it's pretty close. 90. I think was it 90? Someone, where's Trix? He keeps missing these. I need Trix back in the comments. He's got the parts board.
Come back, Trix.
He said he didn't get notifications last time, so he needs to turn the bell on or something.
Somebody ping Trix, for goodness sake. We need to know when the
we need the master. Tell us what's going on. Hey,
no,
Michael DeSouza Cruz, welcome. Andrew might know too. Actually, burps on a hinge is iconic. It is. I use that all the time still. But yeah, it's pretty early on. I mean, yeah, this is. I believe this is some of the earlier uses of burps for sure. Burps released in 1992. Says Andrew. He knows. Yeah, there he is.
There you go.
So
that's
right.
This is the release of the burp.
Yep.
So
wow. Another reason to love Wolfpack.
Amazing.
Right there.
Just something at what, but like composition's one thing, and you're right. But let's just take a minute to appreciate the art, the total art, the Gesamtkunstwerk of what's happening here. Look at that sky versus that water versus that castle. There's something about this picture that's like, this picture will pop up when you put classic Lego Castle in a lot of the time. There's something about this picture. You know, this is like, it's all a bit Bob Ross meets Lego in a beautiful way. It's fantastic one, this.
Something about it, man.
This photographer, I've probably just been really biased about my nostalgia for this era of Lego photography. But this one's a killer, man. This one is
maybe,
really well
but
shot.
I think you can also just objectively look at it composition wise again, and not just the set design, but the whole image design as a well put together piece of art. I mean,
it is.
I think if you got like someone who'd never seen Lego before and took a look at this image, they'd have a lot to like critique and enjoy. I think it would be pretty well received. It's
for sure.
It's a pleasing image.
There's and right down to the nuance. Like, there's one thing I really like about this set it's going to make me seem a bit over the top, but it's just the selection for the arches in both instances, the first bridge and the second bridge, to use the quarter arch, that's, you know what I mean, the half arch, rather than just the full one piece that arches out on its own, the 12 by whatever. This arch is a bit higher in its profile, so it's a bit more, what's the word, convex. It's a bit more convex than the other arch.
It's more of a half circle, right?
Exactly.
Oval.
So so it's all a bit pagan. It mimics the sun coming down and stuff, and it's like there's like some high art concepts buried within this.
You're not wrong.
Lego set. Like, it's so cool. And I don't know where to stop about this set. It's amazing.
No, that's a really good point. Love burps and lerps, Arto.
No loops in this one, is there? I love loops.
Is there one on the back? I think it's just
the one on the back. Oh, 2 burps, I think.
We'll check, because I got the alt builds. We'll pull up in a second.
They're all great. I think I might prefer lerps, though. If I could only have one, I reckon I'd have lerps.
Maybe, yeah. They are a little more dynamic. Although I find burps easier to use.
Yes, true.
Is this the first time Lego used this bridge type of...
It's the best time.
It is the best time, says K2 Phil.
Probably not the first. I bet there was some like early idea about castle or some Dacta bridge that looked a bit like, maybe.
I'm trying to think. I mean, what came before? It was pretty generic stuff. The closest thing, I guess, you could look at is the Forestman's Crossing, but that's so far removed from something like this. This almost gives like a toll bridge kind of feel, like sort of like border bridge or something, right? Like,
it's sturdy as well all the way across. You know, this beats the ones that came after it, because if you look at the Royal Knights one, by it gets down to it's just a plate on the bridge. Yes, there's some good little bits at the front, but there's bars at the side, a little whatever. That bit's embellished, but this one's solid. Look how solid that bridge is. And the second one as well. Like, this is what I missed, this particular beginning of the 90s, before they started dropping parts a bit. They put more parts into a smaller build, lots of plates, and the Wolfpack Renegade, how many plates are going on in that back construction? Look at this bit under the 2 arches on the middle bridge here of this build we're looking at now. There's some nice plate action there to give it another dynamic. They're not afraid to use the parts in it.
No, you're right. It's a sturdy set.
Yeah, sturdy. I like the inside of the towers where the 75 slope comes in on itself, so it's even stronger, but also has a different look.
I agree. Looking at the reverse slope and the slope with the one brick, what is that piece? It's supporting the base of those corner
facets.
The facets. Yeah. That, like you said, you pointed that out already, but that's such a pleasing, like, the little detail right there in the entranceway with
just,
the
it's
torches
the
hanging
system,
above it.
yeah. And this is the Lego system in action. This like all these parts are like sort of been engineered to be able to do all this stuff with. It's I
Also,
sort of
like,
sometimes wonder whether Lego ever got to execute all of the stuff that it could do, and I think not, because the stuff I've seen in the mock community,
that's
you
true.
can get back into the mindset of that
Mhm.
Lego system era and build like they were at the time, or try to, and it gets really interesting. Like you say, facets become so pleasing because they have an application and a time to use them. You know. No, it's just dead ace.
I also like the overuse of the clips on the lances. There's like a double clip.
Yeah.
Just for no reason.
Yeah. Just sturdy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like you were pointing out the back there, I think you can I like how you can put the ghost up in the tower and then turn the ladder. The ladder is clipped upside down instead of hanging, so it can
so you can get to both towers.
Yeah, you can get to the top, or you can push it against the wall and create a jail or some sort of place to hold the ghost or another like enemy or something.
Or climb up onto that roof if it.
Or go up to do some maintenance on the gutters up there.
Just sit up there and have a goblet, depending on what state of mind you're in.
K2 says if Lego ever remakes Wolfpack, this is the set they ought to do.
I think this is the main choice for them, isn't it? Because what else are they going to do? Like, here is our Lego Icons £400 ghostly hideout. It's just
that's true.
Huge burp.
They don't have a lot. They don't have a lot to choose from. It is this one. What I would say is it would probably be this and include the Renegade wagon. It would. One set. It would probably just do it all.
They did with El Dorado and gave you the boat.
Exactly. So there is a LERP. Here's one. Yeah.
So you get both. That's even better because now your ult build potential is cool because you can get that high rock. Yeah. The ult build's great on this one as well.
It's very nice. Yeah, my favorite out of these, actually, there's a couple of nice ones here, but my favorite.
It gets funky at times, but
some of these are kind of just little weird sort of open fortress area things. But
bottom right, by any chance, that says 6075 on it.
6075, yeah.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. Yeah. The one in the left or the bottom right corner. Yeah. Man, the way they did those lances coming out of the I guess you could call them
wins the page, doesn't it?
Everything else is kind of there, and then there's this alt build, which could have been a second set, pretty much. Yeah. Like they could have released this alternative build as another Wolfpack
as a Wolfpack set.
Yeah, I think the tower is pretty. It's ominous. It's got a presence, and I really like it. I think it looks cool.
Yeah. I actually like that page. And so a lot of these alt builds, certainly the ones on the water at the bottom, they remind me of a shout out to Classic Style Castle, who also has some great mocks and great designs. And those two at the bottom really remind me of some of his work with the Wolfpack, where he's tried to stay true to this era, this time, and this design, this limited color palette and parts palette, etc. So they're all really good, and I think that's testament to all the good mockers that have come since. They gave us. They might not be like all four absolute bangers, but between the four of them, they cover quite a lot of potential, and they give you a lot as a mock artist to digest and then spit back out.
Absolutely,
more bricks.
Yeah, you're saying the alt builds as well helped with that, or
Yeah, I think it's good. It's good fodder for mock artists, isn't it? The alt builds, to see the color palette and the parts palette arranged in different ways, even if you don't like the builds. So, like, you might not like this build at the top, but you might say, but I would like a really long ladder like that down two heights with or you might say, I never thought about holding a roof up on just the one arch before, like the bit on the other side, and just using the one arch like that, depending on what my composition is. So you can magpie bits that you see from all these alt builds to make the one you like. But yes, I do think you're right. The one in the corner, as it is there, is the most coherent of the bunch, and you've got your double clip with nothing in it at the top, so they're all out with the swords. I'm guessing the spears go back in there.
Yeah,
I think that would look even cooler with those spears on as well.
That would look nice. I like the bird. Also, keep in mind, when you're talking about like a mock building, and I stray from this a bit, but like, what do you see in here, and like, what do you want to employ in your own designs? You have the gray parrot that kind of gives like almost like location, right? They're on the water. Wolfpack live on the water. You know, at least their main fortress is on the water. So you have like, okay, so you get like maybe license to use blue plates for some of this stuff. You can populate the gray birds into this area of wherever they are in Lego Castle. And so then you can like run with the color palette and do whatever you want. But like, those are fun little elements to pick up on. They have ghosts. So, and out of a theme that had only 3 sets, one of which wasn't even available apparently in Europe, 2 of them have ghosts. So they are a ghost heavy theme. So that's another one you would probably want to keep putting into, you know, set designs, that if you were going into doing mocks or set designs furthering this faction. I think those are elements I would look at and be like, okay, I'm going to add those into other ones. Now let's see if I actually did that, because we're going to look at my mocks and we'll see how much I actually did of that.
Totally. But, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with yourself. I think mine are the ones that you'll need that maybe don't so much. I think mine are a bit more on the Neo. Yours would be great. But yeah, I think you're right. No, there's lots to download, lots to marinate on, and then not to overstate as well. And I know that you're a big fan of this and you do this a lot, but is switching up not just the build but the minifigs. So getting those hips and those torsos onto the opposite guy. Let's see the mustache guy with the black cowl. Let's see the eye patch guy with the brown cowl. I like eye patch guy just with grey and black trousers, because we'd see him so often with red and black. I love to see him, and it's a subtle difference. People thinking, "Oh, these guys, like you're just gonna," it's the nitpicking, but little things like that just add to the dynamic of a build or a mock. They do, like
it's true. It's true.
So yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I'll add in a couple of females too, because there's only like 2.
Oh yeah. We need some representation.
Entire theme.
These guys,
entire castle world up until like recently. So I'll add.
These guys are providing for some women and children for sure. So
definitely
represented.
Yep. So here we go. Here's the other 2 in the theme. You got the Wolfpack Renegades. Their little war wagon here, and then is it Ghostly Hollow? You said.
Ghostly Hideout, I believe.
Ghostly Hideout.
$5 at release ish, give or take.
That's great.
Ghostly Hideout.
You get a lerp, a ghost, a wolfpack, a bird, a spear.
For less than 50.
And someone mentioned earlier in the comments, it might have been, who was it? It might have been K2 Films, maybe not. Mentioning there was no foliage on the tower, but now we do get to see some in this little set here. But this is almost. Actually, it isn't a structure. It's a stump and a rock. So
it's wild. It's
it's not. Yeah, it's not actually any kind of like tower or anything. It's its own.
It's a little dugout, isn't it? A little hideout.
Yeah. It's a little cave in nature. However, you could add 2 or 3 of these around the land area of the Wolfpack Tower and get some foliage and stuff. I mean, clearly they would have lived in an area probably, in Lego Castle, especially with all of the forestmen and all the foliage on their black trees. Like they would have been around it at least. So
yeah, I agree. I like the fact that for the ult build, they switched the scenario. The build didn't change too much, but hey, what are you doing in my hideout?
Yeah, they put the branch on the other side of the rock, and then put the guy inside. Yeah. The ghost is
it's still cool though. They dropped the branch level a bit, and the ghost gone hunting. I feel like they're in cahoots now after that second picture. It changes the lore. I think I like looking at the originals alongside the alts at the same time. Actually, it's nice to just cross-reference a little bit. And I also, again, nostalgia alert, member berry alert, but I just miss these boxes, man. I actually remember them. I remember how they felt, and I remember making the decision in the shop of which one I was going to spend my money on and rattling them a bit. Fantastic. But you see them on the scans here. It tells you how the chest works there as well, that you can get the chest in underneath.
Yeah.
Important thing to mention about that build. I think most people know, but every now and again I'll meet someone who's like, well, it comes up again, and then you've got the inside there. Can fit another one. You can see it actually goes straight through.
Oh, yeah. You can fit a minifig in there.
Yes, you can put a minifig in as well, can't you? In sort of either a smuggly or hostage position, depending on what the
Fair enough. Put him in the
scenario is. Yeah.
Got one in the trunk. I got a Black Knight in the trunk.
Yeah, it would have always been kind of cool if you could have got a minifig in some of the treasure chests. I suppose you could that.
Yeah. There's a bigger chest that came out later. Or
oh right, yeah.
What was that from? It was almost a Fabuland or like a
yeah.
Belleville style, a larger treasure
yeah.
chest. You can fit a minifig inside, which is kind of fun.
But does it have any studs to attach to?
Mm-hmm. Oh, inside? Not inside, but it's got
on the outside at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's got a roll on the top, and then it's like it might be 3x5 or 3x6.
Right.
It's a big old chest. Like it's a big one. I always want to get a hold of a couple of them because they're like almost comically large, and I think it would be fun to make some treasure wagons for like Castle with that in like the back, just full of like gold coins.
I see what you're saying.
Something like that, just kind of almost over, like larger than life, I guess is what all of Lego is like this kind of almost like bigger depictions of these things, So I don't know. I like that bigger chest.
No, that's true.
But Black Falcon says these were sets you could take apart and build something else out.
Low risk.
Modern.
He's right.
Modern sets. I mean, I've done some alt builds with modern sets. I think the biggest challenge with doing an alternative build with a modern set now is the amount of pieces you have to work with.
I think that's what it means.
It's so many, and you feel like if you don't use the bulk of them, you've just kind of wasted people's time. It's like, I think what he's alluding to is that it's a low risk thing with some of these builds because there's not that many pieces. And I remember it being the same. I remember coming back from Woolworths, putting one of these sets on my nan's table, making the real one, playing with it for a bit, right, taking it apart again, making something different. But there's not quite enough pieces for you to lose track of where you came from, so you can put the original back again. By the time you've done it 4 times, you don't even need the instructions. And they're those kind of sets, low risk, and you can get in there and do some there. And I think that's what he means. Like you can sort of really, really experiment with them, and then something like, let's say, the Elf's Clubhouse or something. It's going to be it's going to be a little bit more of a task that needs. It's a whole like weekend project, like for the 2.5 days, like figuring that out. For sure. No, that's what it is. Like whenever I've done it, it's a whole, you got to sort it out into parts, and like it's very like thought intensive to make something and then half the time you put it all and you kind of have a concept and you can't quite work because you're using limited parts, and then it looks okay, and you're like, the original set just is so much better. Like, my alt build kind of sucks.
Yeah. We've all felt that one. But what's good about that is it's like that thing Bob Ross says, not to keep dropping him all the time, but he always says you should be plagued with dissatisfaction because that will spur you on to do another one. And I think he's right. Like, you should never be fully, the artist should never be fully satisfied with the thing because then he's lost his edge, you know what I mean? Lost his drive. Sure. I think like somewhere in the ballpark for you, people will love it, something about it, So
totally.
Not to say not to strive for excellence, of course, that's not what I'm saying. Strive for excellence, but
I get it.
You know what I'm saying. It's supposed to be fun, is what I mean. It's supposed to be enjoyable, not. You want to keep
you want reasons to keep doing what you're doing. You want to try it again or do something different, and that's what I love about the conventions. If you can get out to conventions, man, each year, especially because there's only one really here a year. There's a couple that are close to me I could go to, but there's one big one that I've really consistently attended for the last like almost 20 years now. And like,
amazing,
man, every single time it's a new opportunity to do some new theme or some new build that me and maybe one or two other of my friends will collaborate and put together and do a Viking city or a pirate world or whatever. And so kind of in the same strain, you're always kind of finding some new thing to do and challenge yourself to keep building. So there's always, and you can look over the course of those years and see the improvement of skill and like parts use and like inspiration, just straight graphs,
beautiful thing,
going straight up. The more you do it, the more you're in it. So never seen this set before, says Chris Jones. Was it US only? He's talking about 15.96.
Well, there you go then. That confirms it. I'm glad you said that, Chris, because I don't know if you heard back earlier on, I said 1596, I think, was North America only and Canada. So, yeah, you're right. this, if you're from the UK or somewhere in Europe, I don't think we got this one because I've no memory of it from the time, and this was right in my like I love Lego Pirates and Castle time. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like if you guys had it over there, you would have remembered it for sure.
I don't remember
it's the third set in the the faction.
Yeah. It's weird because we've got the other two. Totally got the other two.
Yeah.
I like this little cart as well. So, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say the exact same thing. I love the cart. The cart is great. The little
cart, so cool.
It's great. I think I have 3 of them. Like
just
every
put
time
one of them in every faction you've got. Fantastic.
And you can rebuild it in different colors too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So it's got a
lot.
Every
build needs a little wagon cart like that. It's just it's really, but I really like. That's composition in a cart right there. Lovely.
Didn't realize the bird came in all the sets. He does, which is actually great. So that just, again, it's like putting up the parrot in some of the pirate sets. Like it cements the gray birds, almost like whatever kind of, I don't know. They're not crows,
the designers have created a world for you through parts.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want the best out of your classic mocks, then it's a good idea to try and pay homage to it, dependent on what you're doing and what sort of market you're trying to appease. I love the grey parrot, can't get enough of them. I even like incorporating them into structure every now and again, as if it's a stone, like a gargoyle.
The red ones too. Red and yellow ones are fun.
The red ones in Western, I do that with the all red ones. And then you can use the classic pirate one as a totem for islanders. However, that is a tangent. We'll save that for another day. Here we go. Imagery. He's right. Game Guru saying sets and imagery like this is what made 80s and 90s kids fall in love with Lego, not IPs or smart bricks. Lego is all just greed right now. You're quite strong at the end there, and I'd be inclined to agree with you. I understand the passion behind that sentence, and it's hard to justify that it's not about that right now because, let's face it, if we're really honest, Lego could piddle a little theme out like this and it wouldn't mean anything to the most popular toy company in the world.
It's even worse than that, because I'm going to just jump on this train now that we're on it. It's worse than that. You're right. Everything you said is correct. And also, there are alternative brick companies with the same quality bricks. I would not say that unless I actually believed that they are the same.
I've used some of them. I've
used them too. And at this point, it's just the Lego logo you're paying for on that box. It has nothing to do with better quality bricks. I mean, all of the Lumi brick sets, they basically have better smart bricks because of their lighting system.
Yeah.
Which is all the smart brick is. It's a light. 90s and 80s had it better. The battery boxes with the lights and sounds.
It's just a weak attempt to keep up with the alt builders, but you haven't listened to the proper problem there. And the proper problem is service the OG fans and ye will receive profits beyond thy wildest dreams. But you won't do it, will you? Because you're too busy giving us some sort of crazy drug trip dream. Which has amazing parts, by the way. But yeah.
And this isn't we're tone deaf, like we don't realize the smart brick is for kids. It's like, yeah, we do, but that's not really like the point here. The smart brick doesn't do what like most of the other technology that they've put in their old sets and most toys from the 90s, honestly. Doesn't even do what they do. So the only thing the smart brick does better is recognize there's another smart brick next to it. I don't need the bricks in my wall that I'm building to know that there's another brick sitting next to it. Don't care.
I don't want to say anything untoward on the stream. I certainly don't want to, throw hate around as a person who tries to, walk in the light. But I just think it's the most pointless thing ever, and I don't buy it. And I think what you're actually doing is just robbing imagination off people. So stop robbing people's imagination and let them go. Because that's what it's all about.
Because that's
rant over.
And that because is literally all the smart brick does.
That's what it's about, yeah.
That's all it does.
And only I should swoosh my build after that. After all that time building it, I'm going to let a brick do the swoosh for me. No way, man. I want to get that swoosh in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Where's my wolf pack? I need my wolf pack back. Get rid of the smart brick.
Yeah.
Anyway. Moving on. So that's the Wolfpack. This is about it. I think that's all we were going to say. You were talking about this little cart with the swords clipped to it that you liked, right?
Yeah, like, well, I was on about the little one that the horse is pulling that I really like, but the one with the swords clipped to it is equally cool, and that's like, very reminiscent of Megisto's, very Megisto's cart,
and the Crusader one, the little Crusader one. Yeah, it's like iconic. So there's that. I was also just as a whole, the Wolfpack Renegade cart can be built in multiple colors to represent different factions, and you can do that blue section on the back in red or yellow or whatever, and actually bring it into a bunch of different scenarios.
Of course, yeah.
So I like that. So we're gonna move out of this. Now, this was a mock that I did.
Old school,
kind of. You know what? This was my first attempt. I can pretty confidently say this was my first attempt at a classic style set design.
Pretty bad.
So this was the first time I was like, what would it look like if I made something in that style, maybe used some new pieces, but like kept the spirit, right, of this old faction. So I put this together years ago now and almost forgot that I had this one on my Instagram.
It's so clear. Renders such nice quality.
I know, and it's like, and it's so old, like not old, but like 5 years ago, probably around 5 years ago, and it's still so just crisp and clean. It blew my mind because I was like, all right, I'm using the software, we're gonna figure it out, see what happens. Put this thing together, render it, and I'm like, what?
It was born. It's amazing, and I think the most appropriate place to start was where we just left off with the last slide. What a lovely little cart,
dude! You know what's fun about Wolfpack? You got Black Knight's colors, and someone mentioned, I think it was K2 Films, looks like he was mentioning how the Wolfpack tower looks kind of like Black Knight's port taken over by Wolfpack. Good lore, could be that, but Black Knight's gray, black, and red. You got Wolfpack gray, black, and red. But what's cool about Wolfpack is their vehicles, at least, are blue. And
well, I had when I first started mocking, before I learned how to use Studio, and I first started collecting, I had this idea to use the blue crenellations for Wolfpack and try and bring that blue from the vehicles into the bases. But when I tried it, it looked terrible. So I couldn't get it to work. I abandoned it. I really wanted to bring that blue woodwork theme into the Wolfpack in the building, and it didn't work as well as it does in the vehicle. So you were right to have it as the vehicle. It's
hard to do something like that, especially when not only do you have the blue integrated into the vehicle, but Wolfpack's on the water or has water in a lot of it. Yeah. And so it's the same color as the water. So you start getting a little,
I've got water crenellations is not what you want.
You got magic water crenellations.
But no, this composition's great on this one. Again, we've got the bridge theme again, but like the other way. So it's like a castle front, sort of pollinated with a bridge. So you get a bit of everything appeased. You've got a couple of nice slope roofs to give lots of different dynamics to the loads of places to hang out in this base. I like the little bit the blacksmith's got. The little awning is lovely, and then obviously where the ghost's coming out is very reminiscent to the Royal Knights Castle. That little front guard, because the actual stairs up to that level don't have a door. Tudor panel lurking there, but I have got a question. I like the Forestman nod on the tree hut bit. Funnily enough, I think there is a forest lady antagonist coming over, isn't there? What's that bit that the flag is hanging off a clip with it's like a slope with a vent coming off sideways from the roof, the big tower, and the flag's hanging on it? What's that part? I don't know if I know that part.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see the one I mean?
There's Technic pins on the back of that. I think it might be Jack Stone. It's a clip. Right. It's the I can't remember what they're called. The joints that have the little pins that click. Click. We call them as kids. We call them clicky joints. But I don't remember what it's actually called. So that's on the end of that. And then I just used it. I mean, this was my first time. I have miscolored.
It's not a criticism.
You know?
I really like it. I really
no, it's a
like
cool piece. Yeah, I thought,
it.
It might have been me being more or less like, ooh, let me use this non-castle piece up here. And
yeah.
Parts.
Yeah, but I like when you do that. To be honest, like that, I think I've
fun,
had fun with that before as well. No, the little water feature's nice as well under the arch. The 45 into a 33 slope for a waterfall between those two dark greys. That's really effective. Not many pieces there, and you've told a massive story with 7 pieces. That's really cool.
Yeah. So here, I mean, again, so I will pull up the comments. Thank you, Michael de Sousa Cruz. We got, is that a coop for the birds in the tree? Should be. Don't think it was intended to be, but that's a better idea. So yes, now it is. That's the bird coop. That's where they keep all their gray birds. Maybe they use them as like messenger birds.
Oh, sweet.
I think it was just a little window like up in the tree, kind of reminiscent. There's a jail behind that. I should have put the behind the image so you could see in the back. There's a bunch of little things going on, but I didn't. Slides and trying to fit everything into one show. But let's see, what do we got? Brickativity says, I have all the Wolfpack sets, and I did build the cart in red for the Black Knights to use as well. Perfect. It's a great Black Knights cart. Building that in red, that's a great idea. It is not the river crossing base plate, but you might be able to build it on that. It might be a little too long for that. It's just it's a brick build. It might be kind of hard depending on quality of stream to see what it's built on, but it is just it's a plate, multiple different plates stacked together to create the terrain that it's on. Andrew, so love the ghost house. Yeah, that's again we were talking about that. Totally borrowed that from Black Knights and Royal Knights. Really Royal Knights, just having it out there on the front like that. Andrew,
the bird lore.
OMG to the bird lore.
But it does make sense though, doesn't it? Like the birds are in every set. They get the idea that they're like talking and stuff and helping them out and little messenger birds. So yeah, let's have a coop for them. I like it. Cool. I
like it. That is if I ever make instructions for this, recolor some of the mismatched colors that don't exist or whatever. Because again, there's early Brickstop career. This might have been before I even had a Brickstop logo made. So
origins, man. Yeah.
I would definitely tailor that to have probably a bird sitting inside there with a little door on the back and have it all. So I'll do that.
No, it's meant. Sure. It's dead ace.
Thanks, Lauren. Glad to have you in here. Wasn't sure if you were floating in the background.
Yo, what's happening, dude?
All right, we're deep into this. I'll have you upload your slides soon as well.
Just give me the nod whenever you're ready, mate.
I will do that. Just give me a second here. I gotta
do
some housekeeping. You probably hear the little clicks of the mouse.
Clickety click. Yeah, so what? Just out of interest, what was it? Oh no, it's okay. Carry on. Here we go.
No, we're flipping all over the place now. So, I mean, you can kind of see the progression here because the first one, this is actually a similar shape than the one we just saw. It's even got the river through the center, just like the one we just saw. This is the Wolfpack Manor. But clearly, obviously, we're looking at I don't remember how many pieces, but it's pushing 2,000. It's up there. It's a big build. There's lots of parts. I feel like this is where kind of where I hit my stride, I would say, in recreating something big for a theme that I loved a lot. So yeah, this was kind of the natural progression of what we saw earlier into something more fulfilled and fleshed out.
Yeah. It's like if Castle had come back at the late 90s when Insectoids and everything was out.
Sure. Yeah.
And they just made a massive Wolfpack Castle later on. If they brought some of the factions back again, they could have had stuff like this. It's so cool.
This might make them feel a little too civilized. I know people complain about some of that stuff where it's like Wolfpack is a renegade outlaw, kind of band of ruffians.
Well, again, though, they're taking things over, aren't they? This could have been someone else's little brewery or whatever, little manor, and then the Wolfpack are just taking it over just until their luck runs out and they have to move on again. It doesn't have to be their permanent residence, but whilst it is.
That's a good point. Could also be fun to recolor this to Black Knights, Black Knights Manor house. That could be cool.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
There's not much there that's inconsistent with the Black Knight. It's maybe just a bit of the light grey and the wall panels and stuff. But you could even make an argument for it. I just think there's some great little details. It's another dynamic composition, lots of nooks and crannies. I always like the 75 slope roofs, and there's one wedged between the tall front gatehouse tower and the back tower there. There's just one between them. Lovely little detail. A bit King's Mountain Fortress, bringing a bit of that King's Mountain Fortress charm into the Wolfpack's universe, so that's nice. I like it. I like this. I know what you mean about finding your stride, like coming out front and using tile pieces to do Tudor cladding, coming out by another layer after the wall panel. That's something. When I started realizing that what benefits that had, and you can use up your parts like that and have something. And the builds come out really sturdy when you build like that as well. Things get stronger. They look better. It's dead nice. Really nice composition. We can see that almost a suggestion of the route up via the ladders at the back through the middle there. But a bit for everyone. A port, a bit of water. So the water, just a bit further down the river. I don't think this is... I can understand people saying this looks a bit too civilized for Wolfpack. I would respect that opinion, but... I think this is probably about as civilized as it would get. I like your introduction of the female character. She's great. But speak on it, dude. I mean, what's
Lady Wolfpack.
She's cool. I didn't know the goblet came in blue.
No, it does. Yeah. So this is a fully established in the sense that I have now, in my brain decided that pretty much moving forward, I'm not at all using recoloring pieces that don't exist in those colors. And so anything you see here is real colors.
Can be done.
Blue goblet, all of that. I would use. Now, is it hard to get? Definitely. There's some parts that I use in certain colors that are like super rare, and I should probably reframe.
I've noticed.
But let's see. We got.
It is proper.
And that's proper. Thank you, Black Falcon, Andrew Auburn, Jail, Sister Crane. Great. Jail on a crane is the perfect. Yeah, the gibbet is what they're called. Those cages they hang people in. Kind of messed up. What I was looking at, though, is that ladder. That's that ladder that the Black Knight is running out of, escaping from that cage. Liked the composition of that being like a catwalk going to a balcony.
Yeah.
So at some point, maybe building something like that and using the ladder as a cool walkway, I might take that and do that at some point in another build.
That's a good idea. They're just dead useful. I used one yesterday to push the sail forward behind on the Armada flagship, so the sail looked like it was being blown. I just hooked one up behind on the mast and just put it that way a little bit. They're just dead. They're very useful part, but. Yeah, in proper context as well, not just me messing around. It does, and I agree. They make a good little gangway, don't they? The cart on this one again. Speak on that cart, Jason. We were talking about it before.
Yeah, the cart. The cart might be my favorite part. The little jail wagon they have here. The only thing that might make this better is that if I had taken, because here I'll show you guys here. The cart, the jail cell on the cart comes off. It sits right in there. And you
Space
can take it off.
Too.
So exactly. So if I had maybe made the hanging cage the same as this cage, maybe had figured out how to fill in the sides creatively, or something like that, so that they could interact and you could clip them back and forth and kind of like do this little play feature. That might be
cool.
Been fun. But that's just a little bit of afterthought there. But
No, it's good. You only have to put a little something to pull the hook up on the top of that hinge bit at the top. But obviously, it would mess with the top of it looking.
I mean, let's look at the card again.
I just any consideration for modularity is always a winner, even if it's just a little play feature of being able to take it off and get to those inside. But yeah,
no, I get that. Yeah.
Again, I was saying to Jason earlier, 75 slope in blue. You've won my vote. I just love a 75 slope in blue. I can't think when that's not a good move.
Mm-hmm. That's
maybe for a grass bird. Maybe for a grass bird, it's not a good move. But I just love them. You name it, like Unitron, Black Knight, Royal Knights. Always love a 75 blue.
Mm-hmm.
Little too civilized for the law, but still amazing. And I can see that. It depends on how far you're going with the lore, I suppose, doesn't it, Jason? Do you want to speak on that?
The lore. Oh, as far as like how big I
like
made
this, just the conclusion about this being too civilized for the.
Oh yeah, probably too
popped up
civilized. This is me thinking, what if Wolfpack had a cool big like place they could hang out, and like maybe they are a more established faction than just a little group of guys running around antagonizing people. Like maybe this is Wolfpack 10 years from when we first see them, and they've
Wolfpack
established a
progressives.
leader. Yeah, and they have a Wolfpack Baron and Lady Wolfpack taking this manor and building out their power and maybe cutting out their own little chunk of land that nobody dares to mess with because they are still swarming with these rough and tumble thugs that
it's not
so
it's plausible within the law. It's plausible within the law.
It seems like Wolfpack wouldn't necessarily do that. They may just not. Maybe they are more petty and small and just would not aspire to anything higher than what they were. But this might. I think if we're really looking at it from where I was coming from, I think it was the next progression. Or
this is the Wolfpack with a good leader. Basically.
Yeah, they got an actual alpha in the pack, and now he's like taken over and built them out,
sorting it out,
full potential. Wolfpack at their full potential.
It's great. I like the open bit at the top, little woofer in there, and the lady with the blue goblets. It's nice, and then the bed above. It's lovely, great build.
Did I feel compelled to use brown trees? Black? I think the reason I used brown was because the amount of black in the build was so overpowering already that if I had made all of the branches black, I would have basically just made up. It would have almost looked like just the castle was sprouting branches. So I did opt to do brown trees as really it's just a color issue. Too much black in the build, and I needed to break that up with some sort of natural looking thing. There's the wooden doors, and then there's the wooden trees, and that's the only other color really in there. So
and the wooden wheels on the
that's
things.
true.
I think you've got even though you've strayed a little bit out of the parameters, you've got a consistent link between wood and apparatus. So that's why it's not too hard on the eye. It's nice. It's nice. I think it's a good thing that you did that. But I do like black trees as well. So Wolfpack progresses into space. See, Wolftron is born.
Wolftron, man. Bird in the corner on the leaves. Did I include a bird? Yes, there he is. Okay, good. We got to keep the bird
and a frog
going. There's no frog. I did put a frog in there too. Is there only? Did I only really put one bird in? I'm surprised because I like putting more than one bird in most things. I feel like I should have put one on that tower.
Nice,
way up at the top there.
Nice fireplace on this one. I bet you can get a nice pizza going in there.
Yeah, nice little kitchen area going in there. There's actually a cool like grate in the floor that like lifts and you can look down and there's a staircase that actually from the cage and you can park the wagon inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you can park in, draw the gate down, go up the stairs.
Not with the gate, not with the horse attached, I don't think, but you can kind of store the wagon in there. And there's a little staircase that actually goes up. You can
just see the suggestion of it there.
And that's what connects. There's a little entranceway. Maybe you can see it here. Yeah, the staircase and the entranceway. Well, where does that staircase lead? Now I don't remember. I think it leads to a balcony with a ladder because I think the bridge actually leads up to the entry into the main structure. So, but there is like a little path passes way up into this other area where you can get to the other parts of the castle. And there's a dock under here. There's a whole port almost, like you can kind of see it here with the little port and the doors out in the front here. But that continues along the back, and there's like a little port with barrels and like a little dock and everything. And there's that little ship or the boat that comes out here. So I did put a lot of like things going on. There's a lot of fun little areas, and there's an opening panel on the front there that accesses this piece because this was kind of hard to get into the front. So on the right, all of that, you can kind of see the hinges actually on those sloped roofs next to the tower with the tree at the base. That opens, and there's like a treasure room and storage and stuff inside that. So there is like access into that area as well. So there's I put a lot of stuff going in.
No, it's very dynamic, loads to it. Yeah, it's definitely on my build list. And you should probably mention you've got the instructions for this one available, have you, Jason?
Yeah, one. Amazingly, there are instructions available for this one. Anyone who is interested in purchasing those, keep in mind there is an issue with the long tiled plates on the shuttered area. You just have to replace one of the headlight bricks with a blank brick, so they're not as sturdy. But the program let me clip them that way, and I thought it was good to go. It's not.
Okay.
They don't actually line
don't
up, so you have to just keep one or the other.
Okay, and then just line it up.
Yeah, and I could go and change it. I should update it and change it. It's just time consuming and hard to do. But anyone who wants to build this actually can physically build this. There are instructions available for that one. Speaking of instructions, Andrew asked, what percentage of your builds have instructions? Would you, if you had to guess, and I would have to guess that probably 15% of my builds maybe have instructions, maybe 20 if we're being generous. So most of my builds don't have instructions. Yeah. So that's that. Let's see. There's a dog. It's a yes.
Yeah, a little wolf.
I have a little wolf.
He's in the shadows.
Had to have the wolf. He's way up there. Man. Yeah. And of course, it's the hard to get like Harry Potter gray one. But it's got to be gray, right? Like you got to have the gray wolf guy.
Like, of course. Gray wolf, gray parrot.
Need more bird-based factions.
100%. Yeah.
This set would be pretty nicely priced.
Pigeon Knights.
What is it? Yeah, the Pigeon Knights. Actually, I mean, a lot of knights had goose, swan, or swan knights. That's a big thing. There's a lot of birds on
nice black duck feather. Love it.
Livery.
This set would be pretty pricey back then. Yeah, it would. This would have been a big
this is huge. Yeah, and it has parts that they didn't include back then. But honestly, it probably would have been on a race base plate back then. All right, let me get to my two final ones. I'll do this one first. There's a PDF instruction available for this one too.
Oh, cool. This one's
Wolf Den. You can buy this one solo, or you can buy it in a pack of 2 other castle ones that I put together, and you can buy it, and it's at a discount if you want to get them. But this one is the Wolf Den. Used a lot of like classic things. We got 2 birds. See, I like 2 birds. I'm surprised the other one didn't have more. But one of my favorite little things is the boulder that I did here in the front door, where you can slide it and it hinges open like those classic boulders they put on like the Forestman sets.
Yeah.
So I just did that. It's a pretty compact build, nothing too crazy, but it felt like it.
It's cool how boulder play like that doesn't look too out of place in Castle, because it's there's a few things that are reminiscent of pirates in this, isn't it? In terms of like part use in the build. If you swap colours around, this could be an Imperial set. But because of the context with Wolfpack, it makes perfect sense also in Castle. You can't always get that. Sometimes it's like one or the other and things don't suit. This one, I think that's testament to the design. You've kept it on the water. It's totally at its place in Castle. But the boulder doesn't drag you to thinking about Perilous Pitfalls too much. You just embrace it as a Wolfpack set with a moving boulder. Just because, it's been quite well done. I like the choice to keep it black as well is interesting, as opposed to like a grey stone colour. So that's cool.
Yeah. It could actually look very nice as a dark gray too. That could, because that plays into the burp on the side there, and you could really play a nice dark gray for that boulder. I kept it black for whatever reason. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little contrarian sometimes. I'll just do something in a different color than what's normal in classic sets, just because I like doing things that are different. Like I think I did a pirate build with a black skull door that opens instead of gray or the white ones.
But it works, and I think you like that. If that's where you've got to identify, everyone's trying to do similar stuff. Everyone loves the same stuff. So if you can find a place where you can go a different road, then you should. And I think it's part for yourself. I would imagine that's a brand building thing, isn't it? That's your style. It's your direction that you will take. So that's unique to you. You're right. It would look good in grey, but it looks fantastic in black as well. And it goes with the wall next to it. It's a good little set.
Something to keep in mind too is, if you ever get any of my instructions, and there's actually a good handful of them that are free. So you can if you go to my shop, you can get free ones too for a decent amount of stuff that I've done. And so these are suggestions, really, when it comes down to it. Here's the building blocks to build this design that I created. if you have parts to build it in gray or prefer it in gray, do that. Do you have all these figs? Maybe not. Put your own on it. Like, you don't have to spend whatever obscene amount of money to find every single fig that I digitally put in this build and don't necessarily own or do. But so that's also something to keep in mind. It's like,
for sure.
Go for it. You've done it. I've seen you build some of my stuff. I've given you some of the PDFs and stuff.
Yeah, I built the Armada a couple of weeks ago. It was a lovely build. So again, if anyone's worried that they've bought some dodgy mocks, dodgy instructions, I know that they are out there. But I can tell you, and I'm not just being biased because Jason's a friend and we do this podcast, they genuinely are really good quality instructions that really thorough and nothing skipped over, very clear, very like the original instructions. If you like building the Black Knight's castle, you'll like building Jason's instructions.
Right. Yeah. And, I originally designed most of my instructions to be similar to the old instruction books. I've done it a little differently now. Moving forward, some of them have more steps and are a little clearer even than the older ones. But that was my original inspiration, was creating instructions that felt like those old books that we grew up with. So, yeah, I like this. The Black Knight's out. Yeah, he's booking it.
He is. He's off
on the blue base plate, like you said, Andrew. Nice. So this is really bringing it back to the classic original kind of feel of these guys. And then we have this final one, Canine Cove.
I am just going to say something straight off the bat before you speak on this, because this is awesome. You should at some point make instructions for this. This is a bad boy. This is proper. Go on. It's brilliant.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'm glad you like this one. Yeah, again, I mean, some of this stuff is kind of wonky. It's got some crazy angles and things going on. Really big. The biggest thing, obviously, is going to be these walkways, right? That tie this build together with the crenellations sideways. So this one, that was kind of the whole thing. I was like, I want to build ramps with battlements on them. How do I make this look cool?
Well, you embrace the helter-skelter effect. You embrace that, and because it's Lego Castle, like you'll get some people go, "That's not realistic." Well, it's Lego, dude. Like, I want to use some cool parts, and I want to homage something that is realistic in a whimsical way. It's great, and the other thing about this is it gives you access, gives you play access as well.
True.
Because you've chose to leave some of those angles done. I'm wondering if anyone's going to spot that amazing brick technique at the top with the rope and the curved plate. I'll leave that one for someone to notice.
There you
go. But yeah, no, it's great. Like, so that was so that's interesting to know that background then, Jason. So your first conception was, I want to do those diagonal slopes, and then
it was that. That was a big one, and the other one was using the Magisto roofs for Wolfpack. I was like, that could be fun. Maybe this was Magisto's like second vacation home again, and now they're the Wolfpack. Yeah, the Wolfpack now took it back, or took it over. Couple of fun things here. Well, we got a bunch of people talking here. Let me pull those up. Thank you, Andrew. And then the fence for the raft. Yeah, that was another one. Again, that's me just being either not really contrarian, but like, what if I just used a fence on its side and clipped, used the panel plates that clip to the side there and actually build out along the top of the fence piece and make it look like a raft. So
authentic raft feel. It's I like that.
What else here? We were gonna double stairs. Yeah, they look like stairs, I believe. They're just ramps, but they look double stairs, double ramps, whatever. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then you say they draw the eye nicely, burp on a hinge.
Yeah.
That's the way, man. Rock Island Refuge vibes, says K2 Films. Kind of, it's got double kind of bridges and stuff going on there. I'm so far away from even having a half of my designs available to purchase as PDF instructions that the alt builds and going and making alt builds for my designs. That's just so much further down the road. I have done one. I did it. It was the Dark Forest little treasure stash that we looked at a couple of weeks ago. I do have an alt build for that actually. And I think if you buy, I think if you get the instructions for that, which by the way, that's $1. The instructions for that is $1. I don't think I actually make any money on that one because of the fees. So if you purchase it for $1, it just goes to the shop that I sell on, and then the rest of that money goes to PayPal. It is what it is. Whatever. I should probably just make it free at that point. But yeah, that one has an alt build in the back of the instructions. But yeah. Let's see.
You've made the alt builds for some of the GWPs and stuff, though, haven't you? Which have been quite good. I know you've done the. I know they might not have been official posts; they might have been stories and stuff. But I think you did an alternative build for Megistos.
Yeah, no. So I think I assume, Lorem, you're talking about alt builds for my designs, like.
I'm with you. Right, I see. So making an alt build for you.
If that's not the question, then yes, I actually have done many alt builds, and I have a few, actually 3 or 4 alt builds that are digitized that just haven't been made into instructions yet. And then I did the Frankenstein Lab based on the new creator haunted house set. So yes, as far as our alt builds in general, I do, and I usually try to even make my alt builds based on semi-current or more easily available, or like gift with purchase sets that I just think look bad and could be better or whatever. So yeah, I have done alt builds, and I don't know if I've done any castle ones yet, but yes, that is something that I do. I actually have an insane alt build that I think a lot of people are gonna like for the. I'll just say, it's for the Medieval Town Square.
Cool.
I have a crazy alt build for that. It's huge and a lot of detail in that, and it's digital now, so I can make instructions for it. But it took me days to take it from the physical alt build into the digital realm to make that. So
okay. So you've got it in physical as well, that.
I did. That's how I can't build an alt build just digitally. I have to build it physically first, and then I have to deconstruct it part by part and put it into the. That's the only way I've figured out how to do it. So it takes days, weeks. But Rick, thanks for dropping in. Sadly, they have to leave.
No worries. Thanks ever so much for watching.
Appreciate it. Thank you for dropping in. Let's see. What's the name of this one? Canine Cove. Is that what we're talking about? I think that was the question. Christian, who needs
exactly. Who needs awesome. Like, no one's noticed it, but look at that where the string reel is. Just look at the arrangement of stuff there. You've got the 2x3 plate with the curved edge with the hole in it, housing a one stud hinge piece attached to the hinge tile, upside down attached to a 1x8 hinge piece, and then the string runs across the top. It's just so nice. It's embellished, and there's an industrial vibe to this build because the lakeside and they're hoisting stuff around and it just fits. I presume those are like those castle battlement sides where you can drop rocks and stuff out. Obviously, you've got those window panels at the side. Grey.
That was one of my favorite. My favorite details was the little ones on the Technic pins you're talking about.
Yeah.
The little, like, almost like hoarding windows where you can pop them open and drop them.
But like just leaving it grey is such a cool choice there, rather than being tempted to use like a window shutter color or a blue accent or something that should take it more Dragon Masters. You kept that grey, and it just little choices like that. When you put them all together, you get something cool looking like this. It's cool. Now the base plate this is on. Let me just ask you a question. This isn't 16x32, is it? Is it a bit shorter?
It's that shorter one. It's the one that the 20. Pirate, the
Rocky Reef, the yellow sand one with the burp on.
That one, and the one that they catch in the Armada with the net bridge.
Yes.
I always forget the name of that one. Pirate's Ambush.
Pirate's Ambush. Yeah. Okay.
That's that one. I will say, do you see on this second picture?
Yes.
Do you see the use of the reverse slope going up the barred window and then the reverse slope going back in?
Going up the barred window and then.
So that
there's I see that where it comes out.
I borrowed that from that tower we were looking at earlier. That kind of that feel of the beefy tower, coming off the front there. That was kind of I kind of used that a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then,
yes. I see what you mean, because you've gone 45 slope into an inverted 75. They
that's
went
what I'm saying. Yeah.
45, 145. So you've done it your own way, but still paying homage.
Kind of that
And then,
feel, right?
yeah. When anytime there's an opening like that, and you've got a classic fence grill in part of it as well as a lovely touch. That's nice.
100%. That's one of my favorite pieces. That
We love
fence
a
piece.
crane. Al Drawburn says we love a crane, and he's right. We love a crane. Having just built 2 pirate ships in the last 2 weeks, I do love a crane.
Yeah. So yeah, probably my 3 favorite things for this are the
the mission objective, which is the slopes, presumably.
Well, the fence, yeah, the dynamic crisscross walkways, of course, but like the fence boat, the little raft, the drawbridge, like almost portcullis. Do you see that? That can be raised, and they can be safe. They're out. Once you pull that up, you can't get to this place. This is like legitimately a rock island refuge. Like, it's on the rocks, on the water. You drop that iron gate down, you can run up and down it, but you pull that back up, it's done. You can't get up to it. So that was another fun feature I put on there. And then, like you mentioned, the little hoarding windows, the little hinged murder holes that you can drop.
It's like a goblet, like a barrel of hot oil. Just you can just see it. It's great.
Those are kind of my favorite things of this one. So I think that's probably enough. I will pull this coming up. Dynamic. What is this?
Dynamic renderings.
Yeah. Says, I would love to see your alt build of the medieval town square. I've been messing around with that a little bit too. The amount of parts on that is pretty significant. Like, that was a challenge. There was a lot that I was messing around with. And like, when you break that town square down into piles of similar parts or colors, it takes up a massive amount of space, and there's so many little stickered cool like elements that can embellish areas and buildings. Like, that was an insane challenge. I worked on that for like a week, and I put together something that I think a lot of people are going to like. It's just sitting in a digital file now that needs to be
okay. Well, I can't wait to see it. We eagerly await the town square alt build for sure.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I'll make it available at some point.
I used them for the Wolfpack Space and 8, and they look great. Space and 8 was just saying he wonders how the red roofs from the Princess Peach's castle would look in this situation. Okay. I've used them for this purpose with the Wolfpack, and they do also look very cool.
Awesome.
In my opinion, they look really cool. You can see that little bit of that shingle on the roof is quite nice. But the smooth works lovely as well. So I think
the only reason I did
the new ones are easier to get than these.
Keeping these ones, yes, that is true. I think I just was keeping this in mostly parts accurate, actually.
Yes,
I don't know that I used any modern pieces on this.
No.
So that's why those. But I agree. Space Grenade, I mean, those Princess Peach Castle walls, they come in like 3 different colors. I think green even. Like,
I've got 6 green ones. I'm lucky.
I have none. But one of these days, I'm gonna have to
get on them, man.
And
I've got a bag full of that. And when they came out, I was like, I went ham on them. I've got a bag full of them in red. And then one day I was scrolling around on Brick Owl, and the green ones came up, and someone had like 8 of them for £1 each. So I just bought them all and got all 8 for. So I want to do something like Dark Foresty that we were doing a few weeks ago in that vein. That would be quite nice. So I like the Magisto roof as well. I like them both the same, but I don't have many of these. I only have about 4 of these.
Yeah, I'm probably about the same. Not many. Not for the amount of mocks that I would like to eventually build physically. Yeah,
exactly.
So, all right, we're jumping in it, man. Enough of my stuff. So, let's get into it.
This is probably my equivalent, really. This was my first Bricklink build. Bar a tiny little Space Police 1 tiny mini build. This was my first outing in studio. I remember I was at the lodge up in Harlech in Wales, and we had loads of time. We were just hanging out as before Max was born, and I just got to work really. So I did, really enjoyable build. I think I might have used one part that you can't get, which was the diagonal crenellation in dark grey. Again, I wasn't as confident at the time.
And potentially the dark green.
And
tree.
the dark green tree of it, yeah, definitely. I just take, because I've got so many of them off AliExpress in dark green. I just I've made it legal in my head, and it's totally not legal. But yeah,
before you go on, isn't it interesting that both of us, for the first like attempt at expanding a classic theme, instantly our first attempt was Wolfpack.
Wolfpack, yeah.
Both of us.
It's so iconic, man. It's drilled in, and I think
that's go to it. Yeah, it's a go-to. You know.
Yeah, and this one I didn't quite get right because there are Wolfpack Knights, and I wouldn't really do that. I don't know why I did that. I think I was literally just excited to have my hands on all these crazy parts in studio. But what I do like is that I use those little wolf heads from studio. Is that maybe I've overdone them a bit, but I use them as little sort of gargoyle things.
I like that.
Little things to scare people away. Yeah. So this again, you pull up at the dock, and there's got the guy out there with the big blade, and then you can actually come up that staircase. It's actually quite a funky building technique with inverted slopes and then arches where it goes up. It's weird, it's quite convoluted, but I was just sort of again building studio style. When you've got unlimited stuff, you do some different stuff. But I've subsequently tried it a bit with the real brick, and some of it does work quite nicely. So yeah, this is almost leans a bit more into a Viking vibe, especially with that big tower. But I should have. I'm gutted I didn't. There's one render I should have done of this build. And people might not believe me, and they might have to just take my word for it. But if you look at where that Wolfpack knight, who shouldn't be a knight unless he's stolen his gear, that room that he's guarding, that's quite big, it's quite chonk.
Okay.
Inside there is a massive long table where they're all got chicken and goblets laid out. So because I always envisioned them like with like wolf skin long benches, sitting down, just absolutely eating and drinking till they were pissed as a fart, just along a long table. So that's going on in there, which is cool. But yeah, I like this just because it's a measure of where I started.
The bridge over the river. It's just, you can't go wrong with a nice bridge over a river. And we've seen that played out in multiple different Lego sets, but also in a ton, really ton of mocks and like expansion, like classic style castle sets and mocks and things like that. So.
Yeah. Since this, I tend to think a bit more like you did initially, like, let's get realistic with the parts choice. People might not be able to just stack up this plate eight high, or so, you know what I mean? Like, start being a bit more economical, only if it's not at the detriment of something I really want to do.
Totally.
I could have
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say I could have left a couple of these corner walls without the cobble pattern and just had plain ones to make it a bit cheaper. But
that's something that I consider in the back of my head now. I know it's not so much the corner panel with the stone; it's the flat panel.
Long one.
Yeah, there's two of them on here, and those are $45 or something, $30 each now. So those are pretty hard to get because I think they still only came on one castle. It's the first Black Knight's castle. I think that's the only set that came in black with that cobble pattern. However, actually, that was one of the things I actually like about this. Not that I don't like the rest of it, but one of the things that drew my, you know what I mean? It's not the only thing I like about it. What drew my eye with this one was the cobble running through the base and then up into that tower. Yeah. And it's not cobblestone. Yep. That's not the right word, but you know what I know
exactly what you mean. Yep.
I liked that. Sometimes it's hard to get a good balance with those printed parts. And sometimes I'll like juxtapose them or like offset them and stuff like that. But this one, just filling that area with it and then having it come up into the tower actually gives a nice consistency. And I like it. This works for me. So I wouldn't change.
Yeah, no, I don't dislike it. I think it was a risk, and I think it paid off in this build. But I would be careful. I would be wary with that in the future, because, like you say, I do like to offset a little bit of a blank one between, not just for economy, but just for it's. Yeah, I like to build. I liked the idea that someone could maybe make it if they wanted to give or take the odd substituted card.
Totally. No, I get that, and that's the other thing. Again, like I'm a little more conscious about like rare parts usage and things like that. But if I feel like I want to use that part in a design, I'll just use it. And if it's a blue goblet that costs $1.50 as opposed to a yellow one that costs 9 cents,
so be it.
People can switch it out.
Yeah,
you don't have to go crazy.
You don't have to be like me and go buying light grey treasure chests just because Jason put light grey treasure chests on the Woodsman.
Exactly. You can use a brown one or a black one. Yeah. So
you don't have to do anything.
But I would say, like you said, both of us now, I think, are a little obviously more conscious about colors that don't exist. Like, if I'm not putting any non-official Lego colors in parts and stuff like that. I'm not doing that anymore. You're not. I don't believe really doing that anymore either. So as you progress through using and doing digital design, it's got its own weird.
It depends.
Path you have to take.
There's if I'm really embracing studio, and a couple of exceptions. Like I have rendered a trans red quarter dome for a Space Police 1 base because we never got that, and I'd love to see a Space Police 1 base with that thing. So I will do stuff like that, but obviously, whilst typically do is just drop a little comment. I'm aware that this piece doesn't exist. It's not a flex. It's just, wouldn't it be great if, almost like when it comes to space as well, I like all the prototype stuff, and same with Castle. And I think it's catching on because I've seen a lot of really good Europa nods and stuff coming out in the Instagram community at the moment. And stuff. So I think I think part of it is that we've oversaturated the factions we love and that we're looking for something different. And I think part of it is that that is really attractive to just dig into that prototype lore a little bit and give us more stuff to base mocks on. So I think there's a bit of both of those things going on there, potentially.
Yeah, I agree. And that actually, I was going to point that out. I think the cobble, all of that stonework on the walls was very much reminiscent of the Europa prototype castle stuff. I think that's why I kind of was drawn to that part.
Yes. Cool, man. That's
we also have Spacer Nate. That does make a cool pattern, having pure printed parts.
It's another side of the system we don't see much in Lego stuff because it would have been too dear for them to print that way. But of course, as retrospective collectors now, we can get 24 cobble corners and stack them up and see what they look like. So this is that.
Well, it's great to see a couple of accounts in the community, and even some printing and stuff like that coming out with more of the. There's a couple accounts, and it might be the same account with a couple of different or the same person with a couple of different accounts, but they're doing a lot of the old prototype stuff, like really bringing a lot of that prototype stuff into either small instructions or they're even recreating some of the parts digitally, which they're putting up for download. You can download them into Studio and play around with it. And so there's been this interesting kind of shift recently, at least in my, feed with a lot of Europa.
I know the guy. He's been making some really nice Europa stuff, and he's been designing his own parts and stuff. And the other thing is as well, we always pipe on, don't we? But if you really, really want to get a feel for some of this, these different panels and things from the prototypes, there are sticker services out there where you can grab stuff that maybe didn't exist. That was a bad example because that does exist, but the white one doesn't exist. Or the one with a clear vector like we were just looking at that you can whack on some stone of any color. So, have a play. You could put gray stones on a yellow panel in Pirates. That didn't exist, but in your new faction that you're going to make up, maybe it could. So there's with all that kind of stuff, there's just massive scope. But we can only go with Lego most of the way. Then there comes a point where you've got to kind of either start designing yourself or looking at what's about.
Yep. No, I agree. Before we get into this, I will address this. Are there any 3D printers for retro Lego stuff like Bison and Buffalo? And then Lorem says,
not seen any.
You see the prototype creation there. Yes. So as of now, I think somewhere in the world, yes, there's probably something going on like that. But I think the accounts that we're talking about, stuff we're seeing kind of being pushed to the forefront recently, I think eventually that might be the goal, maybe to do a 3D type print or a resin print, or maybe even do a plastic injection thing and then sell those on a shop at somewhere. I mean, people do it. I've seen people recreating Star Wars creatures and selling out batches of Star Wars creatures. I got myself a little, what was this? The underwater Tron guy. How am I forgetting?
Seatron.
I got myself a little resin printed Seatron from somebody on Instagram. So I think like goal wise, I think that is perhaps the intent. I can't say for sure.
It's
but
coming.
It's
here. It's here, and it's coming more.
Yeah, I think that is going to happen. So.
You're only going to see more of that, I think. And at the moment, fair warning, like Jason says, there is that, but be prepared to pay right now if you want stuff like that. Yeah. Be prepared to pay. However, if you're playing the long game, like me, the bargain hunter, then just hold out, because I think that it's only going to get more popular, and I think that stuff is on the way, and I think more people are going to get access to these things now.
Well, and this kind of plays into the rant we had against the smart bricks and the way Lego's looking at technology, integrating into their sets and trying to appeal to the iPad kids or whatever they're doing. I don't know. But this plays into the adults that are spending money on this hobby will spend money on custom printed Europa cobblestone tiles over buying anything with a smart brick in it. And so that's where it's going. And the more we spend our money, our time sharing posts about this stuff, pushing this stuff into the front, and not to mention all the people, thousands of people buying these alternative castles and alt bricks and all this stuff. The more that happens, the more we're going to see of it. Yeah. Because we're at the point.
Yeah, right? Of course. We're at that point. I mean, how is there not castle battle packs, if not a wave of bases and stuff, and a return to classic castle? How is there not battle packs? Yes, you can pick a brick them. I suppose that's made that irrelevant. But even so, even knowing I could go on Pick a Brick and get loads of cool torsos now this week that there's loads of great ones released, I'd still get a battle pack if there was a battle pack at the shop I was shopping at and it was cool castle. They could do it. I think they know. I think there's more to it than that. There may be a little bit of a political thing. I don't know. We don't get political on the show. We don't speculate too much about things we don't know about. But I just think it's clear that it would sell. So there must be another reason. But I just feel
I'm sure there's plenty of reasons that they're not doing that. I agree with you. I think, but like to the point that both of us, I think, are making. Even without the battle packs and stuff, if Lego sneakily puts a new faction into like the vending machine, but won't actually make a real Lego castle theme, you're going to get a lot of people going on Pick a Brick and buying 50 torsos, buying battle pack, making their own battle packs, buying parts, spending $80, $90, $200 in just part bags, instead of sitting there and looking at their sets and being interested in their sets, or Bricklink or whatever it is, finding those things in places that Lego's not providing it. That's just what's happening now. And it wasn't. I think it's bigger and bigger. People used to be really strict and purist, and myself included. Yeah. Now we're just like, look, we just want it to look cool. We want to make our own factions. We want to buy stuff that Lego made prototypes for that Lego won't do, but someone else is now producing those prototypes. We're going to spend our money there. We're going to spend our money on cool printed torsos. We're going to be a lot of people. They don't care anymore. They just want to make cool stuff.
Yeah. I want trans yellow antennas, for goodness sake.
Exactly. Dude, I just found I know this isn't super rare, but it's the transparent hoses. Yellow hoses. Yeah. I just found a couple in my collection the other day. I was like, that's cool.
They're killer. If you can get them not too dirty, that's even better. They scrub up a bit, but they take some washing. But they get grubby for some weird reason. I know. Yeah, Chris is right. We'd be bankrupt, wouldn't we, mate? We'd be in there just hamming them up. But still, the option would be nice. And just to know that, like, some of the kids are buying that cool castle stuff and not just rot. Anyway, I've said too much already.
They should talk about the new faction sometime. Yeah, that would be fun. I have some things to say.
I've got things to say. I need to get some of them. I'm not too much bothered about Krakens and Griffins. I want some Snake Knights.
Snake Knights are cool. I like the Griffins.
Dudes. I like the Griffins. I like them all. I like the Krakens, but like, I've resigned myself to the fact that I'm just going to have to wait for a bit to collect some of them till they've been on Pick a Brick for a while and the prices come down.
Yeah, they're up there. You can see a lot of them are sold out, and the ones they drop the prices on, all the old like ones from Lion Knight's Castle, they're sold out. I don't know that they're getting restocked. I think they just drop prices, let them sell out.
That was to go. That was to go.
Probably.
That was, wasn't it?
So that's a bummer. I did recently pick up 20 of the tan coats from the
Yes, the pirate ones. They are cool, man.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm gonna build out a little group.
You've got a whole Imperial faction for that, haven't you? In mind, and I'm going to do the same with my green coats. So no, that's a good torso. That isn't there two? Is there a soldier and a female, or just one soldier?
It's just so the soldier is the female.
Right, okay. So it's one torso. In the set, it's a female, but you could repurpose that one for a male.
Yeah, and then there is a male pirate. So I got 3 or 4 of his torso, but I got like 20 of the tan coat because I'm like, I want a little regiment of those guys.
Yeah.
Horse Knights remind me of Rohan, says K2 Films. Yeah, totally. Got the same vibe. Honestly, actually, well, no, I'm not going to even get into that. There's a whole nother Lord of the Rings faction that actually reminds me a little more of color-wise and like armor-wise, but that wasn't even in the movie, so I'm not even going to go there. Let's stop talking about that because this is getting out of hand and start talking about this fantastic build because I really like what I'm seeing here.
Thanks, dude. All right, okay. Well, a bit of context on this. First of all, I know it's not the Wolfpack's colours. I know, again, we've got a Wolfpack Knight. I was kind of thinking they've robbed all this stuff off Crusaders and they just put it on after a while and put their own colours on it, whatever. But we'll leave that to one side. In terms of the build itself, it was my first Hinge build in the studio, so that was first of all quite a challenge. And I built this about the time that the town square image was leaked and that we knew there was going to be a Wolfpack in there, which is what this idea of this tavern on the right is all about with these civilians. Now, my idea was that these civilians had this tavern as the Wolfpacks were coming through on a bit of a maraud, and these tavern civilians, this is some deep lore here. These tavern civilians raised wolves. They were sort of, or you could almost imagine they'd got some like ancestry with the animal and the place, and they were quite spiritual people, and they were artists, and they painted shields with wolves and stuff. And I think the Wolfpack just decided to spare them and stay and guard them. So that was kind of this law. Nice. They were just, for some reason, these civilians were compatible with the Wolfpack. When the Wolfpack stopped for a pint, they had a really good night and said, "You know what? We'll move into that tower next door and guard you, and we'll keep you safe from the Crusaders." And that's what happened here. So this is just everybody's kind of living together now in the Wolfpack.
Well, I mean, and I would also say, in my, I guess, understanding of Wolfpack in general, they're not necessarily interested in messing too much with civilians. I think they want very the power, much opposed, to the powers that
they want the Crusaders, and
so that kind of fits to the lore as well a little bit.
Well, that was my thinking. It was also the first time in a studio mock, or a normal mock, that I attempted to do the angled. You know, where you use 4 jumper tiles to angle a pillar on top of something and turn it around a little bit. I've got a Riverman build there, but I don't want to get it out because I'll smash it. But basically, you use 4 2x2 jumpers at the foot of the 6x6 plate, and you can turn the plate by 45 degrees so that you get another angle on top, and that's what you can see at the front of that bit. Even though it's hinged, you've got one angle going on there.
I see it.
It doesn't open up. So, the window's dead nice.
The arrow loops, man. These are better than the ones in the Lion Knight's castle.
Yeah, well,
these are wider. They work better. They look better.
I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I didn't want to use the exact technique I'd seen, but I know that I've got those grey slope builds, and I know I've got the stud on side bits that they attach to. So I tried that, and I was worried that it let a bit too much light through. But there's castles around here and little stone structures around here that arc and echo that. So I thought, well, forget it. I'm going to use them. So I'm glad I did. It worked out nicely. It doesn't actually fully open all the way flat because of the convex window on the side of the pub, but it does. It does close. It does close perfectly.
I think that's.
And I like to leave it a little bit offset when it's open anyway to give it a bit more dynamicism.
This is nice. You got a lot.
It's a bit dark. That I had my rendering power on my old machine was not amazing, which is why it's also got that volume picture at the bottom, because they are just screenshots off Instagram, because the computer I made this one on's dead now, and I'm working on a new machine, so I can't recover the original screenshots. But I should really get my cloud situation. But to be fair, I was just riffing when I did this. It wasn't like I'm not going to sit down and make the most serious neoclassic build I've ever made.
No,
I was just having fun with it.
I like it. There's a lot to like here. It looks like a Bricklink design program set. I mean, you got
it's nearly there. It's not
Yeah,
far. There's some problems, but
I mean, there's a lot of problems with a lot of Bricklink design program sets.
Well, I appreciate that.
This is a lot better than a lot of the ones out there that I've run across.
I appreciate that.
I mean, I just like the fact that it's got a lot of dynamic angles and like things going on. I do actually kind of, as much as it limits your access to these rooms, it's a fun kind of carved out.
That was the problem I had. I wanted to get that kind of like old world Yoda's cave vibe that you get with a lot of that limestone building from this time. But after I'd done it and looked over, it looks really good. I'm glad I haven't got this in person, and I'm currently trying to get my hands in and put bookshelves up and stuff, because I'd probably be screaming at the darn thing and throwing it across the room. But yeah, no, it's again just the post Rivendell with that tile on the roof. So that bit of inspiration coming there from that, and then there's funnily enough, there's the birdhouse on the edge, which is weird. With that actually has 2 black birds used as part of the decoration. They're not actually there. They're not actually the real birds. He's got the pigeon at the top. So there's a birdhouse
here. I see it here. Right, you're talking about the
I've used Nugget for it. It's with the tan roof. It's just a little bit.
I mean, you might say maybe the color's a little non-consistent with the rest, but like that's the thing, though. That's kind of what I like about this.
That's the point of it, because it's just a wooden bolt on.
It's like an addition to what was going on there. Maybe that was a little bit of a broken down wall, or maybe that was a place where people kept climbing up the stones and climbing
fixed it up a bit.
So they put a hoarding. That's literally what it's called. It's a hoarding built over the battlement. I mean, that's similar to what those look like. So
it comes with comes with a little tree build like the town square as well. And if you see, there's a little kid. Now he's like one of the wolf pack. Is the son of the couple that paint, but he loves the forestman. So he's got. If you look, he's got a shield and a paintbrush in his hand, and he's painted that forestman shield because he loves the forestman so much.
I like it,
and I think that's my little background nod to the fact that maybe there was some friendship between, or at least peace between, the forestman and Wolfpack until later when you have to join forces against the forces that become the dark forest, as we talked about the other week. But so this is kind of just an interesting little thing.
No, overall great. Love the little hatch with the gold.
Thanks, Lorem. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he says it's Lorem says sick build. By the way, lots of detail, not overdone. Chris Jones says love this.
Cheers, Chris.
The loot in the loft is great. I was just pointing that out. Yeah. And then Lorem said he liked that the natives had found a way into castle with the Indian shield there.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah, because they paint shield, they paint, so they're artists. And
they're like the bohemian, almost druid, native, like the woodlands.
I think what happened. This is like one of those scenarios where you've got like a dead nice family that have survived for ages off the land, and they're artists. And then I think probably maybe some roguish drunk black knights came through and started trying to pillage, and I think the wolf pack caught them and took pity on them and ended up staying. Somehow,
that's cool.
The wolf pack became that family's guardians, and that's what this mock's all about.
It's good. I like it. I like the angles. I like the dynamics. I like the colors. I like a lot about this. This is very nice. I think it would look really nice as a physical build.
I will try and build it at some point. It won't look exactly the same. I'm going to change a few bits, but it'll mostly be this and have this spirit. I will do it. It will get done. But yeah, there's just a couple of those. I don't know if you look on the right hand side underneath that bird house. There's like I used some stud on side bricks. Actually, the really old stud on side, big 2x2 and 2 high from space. From Blacktron, I used those, and then on the inside it's got the fireplace stood on side, and then on the outside it's like a cobbled stone sort of rock wall side. And some of those dark grey slopes didn't exist when I built this, but one or two of them do now. Nice. which has been really satisfying to see as I've been scrolling through Brick. I was like, those pieces that I was dead gutted about 2 years ago, we're on now. We're on.
That's great.
That's another cool thing about.
I like it.
Lego.
Yeah, that is fun. Well, that happened with the Iron Stronghold that I designed. There was a couple
Yeah.
pieces in like blue and stuff that I actually ended up taking out because they didn't have them in that. It was little corner one by one corner tile like rounds and stuff. Ended up all of the ones that I originally put in it now exist in those colors. But
yes,
that's whatever. K2 Film says the little kid grows up and becomes Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, yeah, man.
Joins the factions. The Dark Forest.
The full origin.
I love it. Good stuff, man. Well, we're almost pushing 2 hours. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's. This was a great talk. I mean, we had so much to talk about. It's funny because like it's such a small faction, such a small theme, but we just couldn't stop talking about it.
So beloved. Oh yeah, just a sticker. Here's
another.
Yeah,
I want to pull these in. These are fun.
These are insane. They were on my sticker sheet, so I used them. I wouldn't go out of my way to make this faction. I don't know what these are. The Wolf Pack Cavemen.
Is that
assassin? Yeah,
Wolf Pack assassins. Maybe.
Yeah, totally. So there's just like daggers. Yeah, it was a yellow sticker, and if you look carefully at the belt bit on the torso, you'll see the little wolf pack emblem. And so these are just some guys I've got here, and I just keep them about. I'm going to make a base for them at some point. It'll be like Castle meets the Islanders or something. But yeah, they are quite cool.
K2 says Wolfpack Barbarians.
Yeah, Wolfpack Barbarians. There is also, do you know that Bull Knight torso that came as a keyring? They did actually do the sticker for that one as well. So again, some more sophisticated Wolfpack with some robs and stuff there. I know it's a bit of a no-no in some circles, and I respect that as well because you know, Wolfpack should stay as they are, I think. But nah, whatever's whatever. And then there was also the one last Wolfpack torso there is on that sticker sheet is this one.
Let's check it.
Unfortunately, his belt strap is just covering it, but there is you can see that there's a Wolfpack shield underneath there. So a little tan vest. So this obviously looks quite peaceful, doesn't he? I think he's just picking mushrooms with his dog. So maybe not all of the Wolfpack were Beastmaster, assassin, badasses. Maybe some of the guys back home were just picking some veg and cutting some wood.
Absolutely, you got to have the home life too.
Wolfpack Special Forces.
Yeah, Wolfpack Special Forces. We got heathens. These guys. Yeah, that leans into like almost druids. The druids and like the stuff that I was doing for a while there. Yeah. I got a couple more builds for druids. I got to do.
Ace, man. Oh, dude, I can't wait for that. That's
well, I think that wraps it up. We covered so much. Lots of
big talk. But thanks everyone for sticking around for the big talk. That means a lot to us, and we love talking about this. We know you love talking about this as well. That's why we're all here. But 2 hours is a good one for the Wolfpack. Smashed it.
Yeah, so that's it. That's the Wolfpack talk with Brickstop Live. Like, subscribe. Welcome everybody who subscribed over the last couple of weeks. Since we started this, I think 60 some odd people have joined the channel, which is absolutely insane. So it's really good to have you guys here. Last one from Black Falcon says Wolfpack Clerics. I like that. That's great. Yeah.
Nice.
And that's what's fun is with all this stuff. You can expand into different minifig designs. And
look what's happening to us all now. We're using our imagination. Now the Smart Brick is trying to rob that away from us. We've got to say no, Smart Brick.
Derail the end of the live with a Smart Brick conversation again. Just what we need. No. So yeah, that's it. Great talk. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you, of course, Retro, for taking the time out of your evening to join me on this journey through Wolfpack.
My absolute pleasure to talk Wolfpack with you and the folks.
And it's been good. It's been great. And we'll catch you next week for the next live. So thank you again. Have a good evening in Europe and a good morning here in the United States. And for people who tuned in all over the world, thank you for watching. And we'll see you guys next time.
Nice one, guys. God bless. Thank you.